Rachel. How are you?
Hey there, how are you?
I caught you reading your notes.
I know.
Listen, you'd have to be reading notes because I don't recall in recent history as many gun rights bills as I have seen lately circulating around a lot of these state legislators. Tell us about a few of them that you've noticed.
Sure, our state lobbyists are really busy this session. I tell you, with Virginia seeing more than 24 bills come across, and now we have bills in every other state, and our lobbyists are so busy, and our state legislatures are really moving forward with these bills. The first one that has probably the most urgency that I want to bring up is a bill in Indiana that would allow folks to carry their firearms onto their employer parking lots as long as they keep them locked in accordance with state and local laws. This has been a priority for the National Rifle Association this political session, and it is something very important for self-defense, its expansion of right to carry. In addition to that, we all know that a person's day does not begin and end at the office. So we feel like it's very important for people to have a means of self-defense to and from work, whether they're running errands or just on their commute. It's very important that folks have this self-defense measure put into place. It passed with broad bipartisan support in both the State House and the Senate, and now it's heading to the Governor Mitch Daniels' desk. The business lobby, however, is really pushing hard for Governor Daniels to veto this bill. We need all NRA members and gun owners in Indiana and across the country to contact the governor's office to let them know that it is so important for our self-defense rights in the state of Indiana to be able to carry firearms in our locked cars while on employee parking lots. It's a very common sense self-defense bill, and that's what's going on in Indiana. Now, we have this bill also being heard today in Alabama and Tennessee. So something going on with this parking lots bill all across this country. There are 12 states that currently have this legislation, and we're hoping that Indiana becomes the 13th, and then soon after Alabama and Tennessee will follow suit. Again, perfect, wonderful self-defense legislation that will keep people safe. And we're talking about law-abiding people, so we want to expand the rights of those folks.
Right.
So that's what's going on with this piece of legislation.
And Rachel, let me ask you this. Is any of the issue in any of these bills about whether or not the guns are loaded or unloaded?
It's not. It would be a loaded firearm. So if you have a right to carry permit, then you would be able to carry this firearm loaded in your car onto your employer parking lot. What the big issue is from the anti-gun standpoint is property rights. And we feel like our constitutional inherent right to self-protection trumps property rights. And, the an employer's parking lot, we're not talking about bringing a firearm into the workplace. We're simply talking about being able to carry your firearm for self-protection while you're commuting to and from work.
Right, okay. And I understand in Virginia you're having quite a number of challenged bills.
We do have quite a number of challenge bills in Virginia, and we're continuing to work on those. Constantly, while these bills go back and forth throughout the session in every state. So whether they bounce back and forth a million times between the House and the Senate, we never give up, and we are constantly working on these bills. I'm sure that some of that you're talking about are one gun a month repeal. We want to see a one gun a month repeal in Virginia, and we feel like this is very important in the state of Virginia.
I see. And in some of the other states, is there more that you can tell us?
There is. I feel like there are bills being heard in Arizona today, in Tennessee, not just the parking lot bill coming up, but also restaurant carry. And I know that we've talked a lot about restaurant carry. This would allow those who have right to carry permits in the state of Tennessee to be able to carry firearms for self-protection into restaurants. We all know, we hear every year of crimes happening in restaurants and churches, in all of these gun-free zone spots, and we feel like it's very important that law-abiding people have the right to protect themselves should they feel like it's necessary. We want people to have the option to carry their firearms in more places to remove these arbitrary boundaries that aren't keeping us safe.
And no matter what laws may be passed or what bills may clear, the restaurant owner or the store owner or whatever the case may be they could still put up a sign saying this is a gun-free zone.
They can post.
Right. So it's not preventing a business person from posting that sign if they so wish to do so.
Sure, absolutely. Right. They can certainly post. It is written into the Tennessee bill that they can post if they choose to, and then firearms would not be allowed in their establishment.
Okay, well that's good. I mean, like I said, there are probably more bills going around than I actually recall. It's very busy out there.
Very busy in all the states. Our lobbyists, I don't envy their work days at all. They're working nonstop on these bills, working with legislators, working behind the scenes with other lobbyists to push these pro-Second Amendment, pro-gun rights bills all across the country in the states. We don't really hear a lot about what's going on in the federal government as it's so lengthy, their process. But in the states, we seem to be having some success this year, and we're hoping to continue to push that forward and get these bills moved through quickly so law-abiding gun owners can begin to enjoy their expanded gun rights.
Yeah, I've never asked you this before, but do you have the opportunity of interacting with the lobbyists as well?
I do interact with the lobbyists quite a bit to know what's going on in their states. Absolutely. We talk to them almost daily about what's going on in their states, what position the bills are in, what the next steps are, and what the priorities are. So we certainly talk to them because we have to talk to folks like you every day and be very knowledgeable on what's going on.
Okay, and another question that I've probably never asked you before, and if you don't have the answer right now, I understand that. Sure. How many lobbyists are there? We
have lobbyists in every state. Some lobbyists have a couple of states. But we have lobbyists that are employed with the NRA in every state. We also have contract lobbyists in those states. In addition to that, we have volunteers in every single district, in every single county in this country. So as far as the breadth of NRA being out there in state and local governments, we certainly have that covered.
And as a citizen, can I interact with a lobbyist?
Sure can. You can certainly contact them. You can interact with our grassroots people to get involved in your county or in your state. And we're always looking for volunteers, always looking for like-minded individuals to come out and work for the Second Amendment. You can look for the contact info on www.nraila.org. And you can also sign up for grassroots efforts on that website as well. So again, we're always looking for our members, for pro-Second Amendment people to come and help us out, whether that be doing phone banking or spreading literature during election season. We certainly always need volunteers.
Well, you stole the next question away from me, so I don't have any more questions. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. We'll see you again next week.
Absolutely. See you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.